Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. So if you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that bell and hit that subscribe button so that you get notifications every time I post a new video or any new content. And we also have a giveaway going on one of my last videos. It is a video of a huge product haul. If you guys want to go over and get in on it, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and comment on that video and you guys will be entered to win. It's a giveaway for a makeup box. So I'm just making some coffee right now. I'm using Starbucks Pike Place. This is my favorite coffee. It's literally like drinking jet fuel. So freaking good. Once you try Starbucks coffee, like you are not going back to your old brand. I'm telling you right now. We got a little refill action going on here, a little satisfying refill action. I know people love to watch that. So I'm just filling up my coffee canister. And for the longest time, I could not figure out how to put these scoops in. And then I figured out that you're supposed to put them in handle first. It's easiest that way and it fits best in the container. So if you've been doing it any other way, you're doing it wrong. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a Skinny Mint shot also. These are like little, I guess they're like little meal, not supplements, but like they suppress your hunger a little bit. So what they do is they fill your stomach up with like water soluble fiber and it makes it so that you want to eat less. They taste really good, except for the nighttime one isn't that good. I have not seen like a whole lot of progress from them, but I haven't really like gave them a good consistent try either. So the one that I'm taking now is the Noon Restart. And it's like the flavor of it is so good. Same with the morning one, the flavor is so good. The nighttime one, I find that I really have to like choke it down, but they're all different flavors and you take them 3 times a day. You're supposed to take them like 30 minutes before you eat a meal. I have tried other Skinny Mint products and I have to say that they have worked for me, but this one specifically, I just haven't given it like a consistent try. So I'm trying to do that now. And then I'm also gonna take my super fat burning gummies. These are also by Skinny Mint. They have a morning one and an evening one. So the morning one you take when you wake up. It's a little pink bottle. And then the blue one you take right before, like in your, when you have your afternoon snack, you would take it. I guess not at lunchtime, but like in between lunch and dinner is when you would take that one. So these are refillable K-Cups. I do have a Keurig, but I don't really like spending all that money on K-Cups. So I got these refillable, reusable K-Cups. I think I got like 5 of them on Amazon for 20 bucks. They come in like a box of 5. They come with a little scoop with it. And then you can use them for, I don't know, I've had mine probably for a good 3 months or so. And once they start getting like clogged up or they start getting a lot of coffee in them, you throw them out. But I usually throw mine in the dishwasher here and there or like wash them out with the dishes or whatever, and to keep them like pretty clean and fresh. So I'm just gonna use this Lysol disinfectant spray, and I showed you guys the French side on accident. But yeah, this is just a Lysol disinfectant spray. I'm spraying it on my countertops, and I'm just gonna give my countertops a good wipe down because we are going to do like the ultimate food prep in a minute. So I just wanna get the counters nice and clean. We're gonna be cutting up all the produce for the week and kind of getting all the fruit ready for the week. So I want the countertops to be nice and clean and ready for us to prepare food on. I don't know if you guys can see right on top of my coffee maker. I'm pretty sure it just fell off. But I have a little, like a little tea diffuser, and it matches with my K-Cups as well. So if I ever want to have tea with my, using my Keurig, I just put my loose leaf tea in the little purple diffuser, and I just boil water through my Keurig instead of like having to use a kettle or anything like that. I just don't put a K-Cup in the Keurig, and I just brew without putting any cup in, and it brews just plain hot water. But I thought that the little tea diffuser was so cute that it matched with all my little K-Cups too, because they're all the same shade of purple. So on the stove over there, I do have some sweet potatoes going because I'm kind of in the middle of making my lunch. I didn't show it on this video, but that day I just had like a southern barbecue chicken and sweet potatoes, like half mashed sweet potatoes. I usually try to eat something like that for lunchtime and dinner time. So I try to eat a protein, a small starch, and like a salad or some kind of green vegetable. And this is kind of how I stay on track with like eating healthy foods and things like that. I definitely don't starve, and I definitely like eat foods that I love. So this is another way that I stay on track with eating healthy as well. I use coffee whitener instead of using cream, because coffee whitener is actually only 10 calories per teaspoon. So it's actually a lot less calories than using a liquid creamer. And I find that this helps me kind of cut down calories throughout my day. Obviously, it takes a little bit of getting used to if you're someone who is like a cream coffee person, but once you get used to it, I wouldn't have my coffee any other way. So I'm taking out my fridge containers right now. All these clear containers that you see me stacking on the counter, these are all my containers for leftovers, for prepping fruits and veggies for the fridge. If we have like cheese strings or pepperonis or anything like that, I usually put those in there as well, or yogurt tubes. So now I am going to peel all these oranges and put them in the container. Don't worry though, we're gonna activate the fast motion in a minute, and you guys will not have to sit here while I peel all these oranges, I promise. So that container that I just pulled out of the cupboard is actually my compost container. It looks very similar to the other containers, except for it's a lot bigger. And we compost like any whole foods in our house that, or food scraps that that would normally get thrown out. So if it's a whole food, we put it in there, but we don't put like meats, we don't put any bread or anything like that. I just stopped for a second so I could put some eggs on as well, because in our family, we eat a lot of boiled eggs. We go through probably 2 cartons of eggs a week just from boiled eggs and cooking them for breakfast and stuff. So we really like do eat a lot of eggs. I usually buy 2 18-packs, and that usually lasts us about a week or a week and a half. So I'm gonna boil about 12 eggs, a whole carton, because usually by the time I even get them in the containers, the kids have already eaten like 4 or 5 of them. And now we're gonna peel the rest of these oranges and put them in the containers. The main reason why I do this is because when I wake up in the morning and I'm making the kids lunches, it's a lot easier to just grab an orange out of the container and throw it in their lunch. I don't have to worry about peeling it in the morning when I've just woken up and I'm tired and groggy and all those things, right? So I just peeled the whole bag and put it in there. I actually did buy 2 bags. So 1 bag is downstairs in my backup fridge. I have a fridge downstairs with all my backup produce and like all my extra cheese and meats and things like that, like yogurts. It's just our fridge where we kind of stockpile things. And so all my extra fruit will go down there. And then when this stuff runs out, I will peel the other stuff and put it in containers. So I'm just moving over all the produce that we're gonna do today. These are little grape tomatoes. These are actually my favorite. Like, I love them on everything. When they start getting, like if they start going bad and we don't really eat the whole thing, I usually just throw them into a spaghetti sauce or throw them in with pasta so they don't go to waste. But I usually put the cucumbers and the tomatoes together in a container, just because usually there's not enough of either of them to fill a whole container. And obviously, cucumbers will spoil pretty quickly after you cut them. So I will cut 1 whole cucumber and put it in with the tomatoes. Yeah, that works out best for me, and that's kind of how I always do it. So satisfying. Like, if that doesn't get your serotonin going, I don't know what will. Like, it just makes me so happy, like, seeing that things are organized, and like, I don't know, it just feels so amazing when you accomplish something so like perfect, right? Like, I always feel so good after all the fruits and vegetables are in containers and they're in the fridge, and it just like looks so perfect and my life feels organized, and I love it. Okay, so I usually put any berries that we have, I put them all in the same container as well. So today I only have raspberries and blackberries, but usually I also have blueberries, and I will put all 3 of them in the container together. So yeah, I'm just gonna put them side by side in this container. I did order strawberries. They did not come. I don't know why, but my Walmart never has strawberries. So I order them every single time I order groceries. I order strawberries because obviously my kids love them, and they never have them. And I always end up having to go to another store and pick them up afterwards, or we just don't get them. But it's very disappointing because like kids love strawberries. They really do. So yeah, this just makes it so much easier in the morning when I'm getting the kids ready for school. It also makes it so much easier because they can just go in the fridge and kind of get their own snacks. It's already cut up. It's already like ready to go for them. So all week, I don't have to worry about prepping snacks for them. I can just go in the containers, fill up a plate with stuff, and they can just, you know, pick at it or whatever. These are lemons. Most of you probably know this about me. I drink lemon water every single morning because it really cleans out the liver and the kidneys and gets things running in the body. It gets your digestive system going first thing in the morning. So instead of having to cut up lemons every single day, I usually just take a whole bag, cut the whole thing up, and put it in the containers, and I have lemons for the whole week. The coolest thing is, so I don't know if you guys noticed, but all of these things that we're doing are like 1 container, 1 whole bag. So except for the berries are 2 containers, but 1 whole bag of lemons fits perfectly in that container. 1 whole bag of oranges fits perfectly in that container. So it's like really kind of satisfying that it fits that way. So next we're gonna do the grapes. I always leave them on the vine because the second you start pulling them off the vine is when they start to rot. It causes a lot of bruising and it causes a lot of trauma to the actual fruit. So I just leave them on the vine until we're ready to eat them. But as you guys can see, I'm cutting the stalk off the vine and making it a lot shorter so it fits a little bit better. And this was like quite a big bag of grapes compared to what I usually end up with. Usually I have enough to fill 1 container, but this bag actually filled 2 containers. I was really surprised. And as I went, I just kind of picked off any ones that were no good, or picked off any ones that had bruising, or if they were like starting to turn. And just so everyone knows, because I know there's gonna be somebody in the comments that's like, oh my gosh, she didn't wash any of that fruit. All of the fruit has been washed. It was washed last night. I'm actually filming this the next day after I bought my groceries. So I actually washed all my fruit the night before. I usually do that because my containers do have lids. There's not a lot of air circulation inside of them. So I don't really like putting them in the containers with a whole lot of moisture because it will cause them to go bad a lot quicker. So I usually wash them and then leave them out and let them dry overnight, and then I start to kind of sort them and put them in the containers and everything so that they have a longer life. So this one's Killian's favorite. We're doing a pineapple now, and I always just buy a whole pineapple and cut it myself because I feel like when you buy vegetables and fruits that are like pre-chopped, you end up spending more money and it goes bad faster. So I always buy my own and just chop it myself because I find that it lasts longer and it's a lot cheaper. So if you are someone who is buying, like constantly buying stuff that's already chopped at the grocery store, you are paying for that extra person to handle your food. You are paying the extra amount. And maybe for some people that's great, but I'm definitely someone who likes to save money, and that's one of the ways that I save money in my house. So this big bag of stuff is what every mom has been looking for their entire life that they've had kids. It's called citric acid, and it stops your fruit from turning brown. So if you would like to pre-chop your apples, but you don't know how to keep them fresh, this is how you do it. I would suggest, in this video, I only put one tablespoon of citric acid, but I would suggest doing 2 actually, because I found that 1 tablespoon was not enough. And I ended up later on after this video, like later on in the evening, I ended up actually making a new soak for my apples and putting them back in for another bath because I could just see that they were turning brown a little bit, and they ended up lasting for the rest of the week after that, after I did the second soak. But I would recommend actually using like 2 tablespoons. So you just put 2 tablespoons of citric acid and then you fill the container up with water, but make sure you kind of watch how much you use. You don't want to use too much because otherwise it will make your apples taste sour. Like this stuff is sour, no joke, you guys. So you have to kind of hit that sweet spot. I would say probably 2 tablespoons. If you have a bigger container, maybe do 3, but yeah, you just have to watch. So you just chop all your apples, throw them in the citric acid bath, and you let them sit in there for maybe 10 minutes or so. And you make sure you move them around like I just did so that all sides get coated. And this is how you keep your apples nice and fresh and crisp for long periods of time after being chopped. So I haven't done this in a long time because my kids have been eating apples. Like, they've just been eating the whole apple, but I really wanted to show it to you guys because I know that this is something, like, this is a little hack or a little secret that lots of moms have been wondering about, and it actually does work so well. The last time I did it with a way bigger container, so the measurements were kind of a bit of a learning curve for me. But yeah, it works so good. My apples lasted 5 days after this. So this is another really cool hack that works really well. You take these brown paper lunch bags and you put your mushrooms inside of them. So when your mushrooms are in those little containers that they come in, or those little packages that they come in, they tend to create condensation inside the package. And because they're so tightly packed, they end up with bruising, and they usually end up going bad pretty fast. So I always like to put mine in these brown paper lunch bags. It gives them some space so that they're not squished on top of each other. And it also, the bag soaks up any moisture that is in the mushrooms so that they don't go bad and they don't create condensation and mold and stuff like that. So it actually makes them last a lot longer. So I'm just taking out my strainer, and I'm gonna take my eggs off the stove now, and I'm just gonna give them a rinse with some cold water just to stop the cooking process and cool them off a little bit. I usually, when I make boiled eggs, I usually boil them for about 10 to 12 minutes, and then I will turn off the stove and I'll let them sit in the hot water until I'm ready to, usually until they cool off, or if I'm in a rush, I'll just run some cold water over them and get them to cool down so I can put them away. And I'm just gonna stick them in containers with the shells still on, because usually, like, sometimes they go pretty quickly, sometimes they're in the fridge for a little while longer, so I like to leave the shells on. And I'm also just gonna strain my apples now as well. So I tried that apple just to make sure that they weren't sour, because citric acid is like the sour sugar that they put on sour candies times that by like 1,000. That's what it tastes like. So it's very sweet. It's very, like, very, very sour. So make sure you test your apples and see if they taste good. If they are super sour, maybe give them a little rinse with water, and that should make it a little bit better. Okay, so now we're gonna put all these containers in the fridge. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me meal prep all of my vegetables and fruits for the week. I usually do this every week just so that it's easier for me in the mornings when I'm making lunches, and it's easier for me during the work week when my kids need snacks. They can just go in and get whatever they want. This works really, really well for me. Plus, it makes my fridge look amazing and organized, and I just love it. I also store all my leftovers in these containers as well. So if I ever have leftovers, I have a few extra containers like that, and I'll store my leftovers in those as well, so we can actually see what's in it, and it tends to get eaten a lot quicker that way. If you guys have not hit that subscribe button, make sure you do if you enjoyed this video, if you want to see more videos like this. If you guys like this kind of thing, make sure you guys leave a comment down below and let me know if you want to see more videos like this, or more organization videos, more meal prep videos. I want to make what you guys want to see. I hope you guys all have an amazing day. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.